Hello all. In today's video, we're going to start with our PG admin. As in the previous video, we have already seen how to install the PG admin. And once you open the tool, this is how the dashboard is going to look for you. So let's go to the servers here, and here you can see the Postgres. So in the Postgres, you're supposed to do a right click and go to the query tool. Now, query tool is a place basically where we write our query. And as we have seen, we have installed SQL 15, so that is why the version that has come over here is 15. Now, please understand the whole dashboard over here, I can say, or the query tool is divided into various parts. On the left hand side, we have all this, okay, your tables that you will be creating, foreign keys and everything. This is the query tool place, basically where you will write the query, and on the bottom here is where your command will be executed. Scratchpad is if you need something. Right now we will not need it, so we will just close the scratchpad. Only for easy access, I've already copy pasted the command. Don't worry, the same command I'll be also writing in the description box so that it becomes easy for you. So the first command that we're going to learn is we need to first create a table. As we know, SQL is a table creating software. You know, we create tables, we mention relationships, and we pass the data from one table to the other. So first thing we need to do is we have to create a table. So in this video, mainly we're going to understand how to create a video and what are the various constraints also, that you should follow when you're creating a table. So remember the query has to be written in this query block, okay? The syntax is you write a create table, table name. So let me tell you, whatever are keywords comes in purple, like create table is a keyword, okay? But the name of the table is obviously not a keyword and hence it has come in the light blue. Whatever are the data types you will see comes in this orange color, okay? And the keywords always comes in the purple color. Whatever we give to the command comes in the light blue color. So this is the standard format, which is followed. So which helps us to understand in case if we are doing some mistake. So we will first start create a table employee. So my employee table, let us say, has various attributes. It has employee ID, first name, last name, email ID, age, salary, department, joining date, gender, and the manager ID. So as we know, employee ID will be the primary key for this particular table. We don't want to assign the primary key. We want it to be automatically updated. And that is the reason we are using a data type which is called as a serial. Okay, we will not use integer. We could have used integer also because employee ID is normally going to be a number. It is like a roll number given to a student. But what we will be doing is we will assign it serial. So by default, the numbers will start progressing. The next attribute is first name. Let me tell you, first name are two as such words, but to be given as an attribute, they has to look like one, and that is why we are using an underscore. Okay, so we are saying first underscore name. Name is a varchar. Okay, it does not have numbers; it has alphabets. Hence, the data type we use is varchar. By 50, I mean that at the most 50 variables can be used to describe a name. So normally it is very rare that we will have a name which is more than 50. 50 is the maximum size, or I can say memory, that we are allocating to this particular attribute, that is first name. As I said, whatever we write in the purple are our are our constraints. So we are saying that the first name is going to have a constraint which is called as a not null. A not null constraint means what? This particular attribute cannot be kept as a null when you're inserting the values in the table, which we'll be learning in our next video. So here I'm making sure that the first name is an attribute which has a data type varchar and has a constraint which is called as a not null. Similarly, last name is a attribute with a data type varchar and it is also not null. The next constraint that we're going to see is unique. We're going to say email ID. So the email ID, again, it can be combination of names and numbers. So we're going to use the data type as varchar. It can be obviously greater than your name because it will have at gmail.com and all. So we are giving a bigger size to it. So we have assigned it as 100 and we are calling it as unique. We are making sure that no two people in the data set or actually anywhere can have the same email ID, and hence we are giving it a constraint which is called as unique. Unique and not null together, but honestly speaking, not necessary we have to give not null. Let us just keep it to unique. I want all my employees, obviously, when they're entering the data in the database, everybody should have a unique email ID. So let me tell you, not null means what? I can keep it, I cannot keep it blank, okay, but I can have two people with the same name, okay. Similarly, last if I say two or more people with the same name, by unique I mean that it cannot be same. It can be kept blank because I have not written not null, but if you're entering some data into it, you have to make sure it is unique to this particular table, that is employee. Okay. Next attribute we are entering is age. Okay. Age is an integer, as we will have some integer value. Okay. What we want is we have to check that age is greater than 18. As it is a company, we are entering the data of the employees. We want the age of the employees to be greater than 18. Okay, if it is less than 18, then that particular employee detail should not be added in the table. Okay, we should get an error message. To do that, which constraint do we use? We use the constraint which is called as check. What check is going to do? It is going to check that age is greater than or equal to 18. This is a very important constraint and you will be using it pretty often. The next is a salary attribute. You can either use integer, but I'm using a numeric because I want the salary to be represented till the decimal of 2, like 1 lakh dot 2 to something. Okay. Again, if salary is not mentioned, because we are not writing not null, right? If the salary is not mentioned by the user, by default, what we will say, will say 25,000 is the salary. If the salary is not mentioned, we will not keep that particular attribute as blank. So default is a constraint that is used when you want some default value to be added in the data set, okay, and not to keep it blank. We are also putting a check constraint that salary has to be greater than 0. Obviously, nobody can have a negative salary. So what we will say is we are putting a check constraint. So here you can see that you can have more than 2 constraints put together for one particular attribute. Next is department, which is varchar. We are not put any constraint to it. Varchar means what? It could be whether it's in IT, finance, technology, whatever it is, what department this particular employee belong to. Next is joining date. Let me tell you, date is again a data type. Okay, date, DATE, is a data type. Okay, and the format is YYYYMMDT. Okay, if in case the user has not entered date of joining, by default, what we will do, we will put current date. So whatever is today's date, that date we will put, okay, as a date of joining, but we will not try and keep that particular attribute as blank. The next is gender. Again, gender could be either male or female. So we do, or any other third gender is also there. Whatever it is, it will be fit into this 10 attribute. So yes, varchar 10 is enough. And secondly, we are saying that manager, that employee going to report to, he'll report to some manager ID. Okay, so that attribute will be int. So this is how, we write our first create table command. Okay, we are creating a table employee. How to run it? We'll just copy the whole thing. Let me tell you, you should start writing it with a bracket and it should also end with a bracket. All the attributes should be separated by commas. Please understand this. All the attributes have to be separated by commas. You can write the whole command in one line itself, but then it gets very difficult to see. And that is why we have written all the attributes in a different line. Even if you write in one line, it is not a mistake. We forgot primary key. Primary key is basically the most important key of the table. The employee ID is, we are calling it as a primary key, means it cannot be null, it has to be unique, So that is basically going to represent the whole row in my database. So how to run it now? I'll just select the whole thing and I'll click on the run command. If everything is right, students, you will get a message calling as table created and a query was successful. So this is what basically how we write the first table. There are many constraints which we will see in the next video, but right now I want you to practice this. As I said, the same command I will also copy paste in the description so that if there are some typing mistake or something, you can at least copy it and get your thing right. Thank you so much.